Pouches in everyday carry are an essential if you're the type of person that likes to always be prepared for some stuff. I mean, I got my tech pouch, which is small, discreet, and you can find the video on it by clicking the link that's right here above my head. But by Orbit Key, this little 2-in-1 tech pouch is fantastic. It gets the job done. Then I have my tool pouch, which have evolved. It used to be in the beefy, now it's in the fatty, or maybe this is the, I get the names wrong all the time with these Mac editions, but tool pouches, survival pouches, these things kind of live with me every day. But the pouch that lives with me, whether sitting on my desk in the man cave, gets transferred to a bag when I'm leaving the man cave. These are kind of, I would say, like my urban, I guess, anything pouch, anything could happen pouch. I loved it so much, I made it twice. So it is what it is. I like these. These keep me the most capable dad, man, and person at any given moment, especially as we grow into the fall. I mean, I got the garage open today because it's such a nice day, but as those days come, we're going to see exactly how it goes down. So the baseline of the pouch itself, I guess we can talk about, is it's going to be the Nutsack Commander. This thing here is just a fantastic dual all pouch. I cannot believe a couple of things about this pouch. First of all, it's relatively small size. It's a pretty good size to be a pouch that can fit so much crap inside. I mean, if you look at it next to like the beefy, it's you know, I think it's a pretty good size. Even like next to my tech pouch, which a lot of people don't argue that tech pouches are too big, it's still smaller than that. But another thing is that this thing came out at $119 a couple years ago. I think they dropped the price to $109. It's made in the USA. And you know what that leads me to believe is that they've learned, they got better pricing on materials, or they make these things faster, i.e. it takes less hours to make one, i.e. labor costs went down. And it seems like they passed that savings to customers. I don't know, because I went back and watched my video on this, and what came out of my mouth in that video was $119. And what I see on their website, sometimes it's 109, sometimes it's one. I like that, okay? That's freaking fantastic. Wax canvas, I do have it in the olive drab colorway, the OG colorway. Both of these are outfitted the same way. A few caveating features on them, but for the most part, they're the same. And they are both MOLLE capable. You have to buy your own MOLLE straps. I think they sell them on Nutsack's website. Also, side note, this video is not sponsored by Nutsack. It's sponsored by Bear. More on them later. But they did send me both of these out for free, and I like them a lot. So anything that was sent to me or I bought, I'll let you know throughout the video itself. If you decide to buy the straps for these and use this might be prudent for you if you're putting them in on side of a bag like a GR2 by GoRuck, or if you're going to be putting them in on like a Nutsack bag themselves, something that has MOLLE inside, or make like a Vertex bag that you can attach to something else. Keep in mind, you're going to be opening this up like a book. You just saw me open this up here. And that's where we get into the meat and potatoes. But before we get into the meat and potatoes, I don't keep a lot on the outside. I do keep the Mini Prize by Daily Carry Co. here, mainly because these things are small, they're discreet, but they are the appropriate size for me when it comes to actually detaching or doing adjustments to my camera equipment. That's kind of like a me problem, not a you problem, but I do YouTube. I do YouTube. And stuff comes loose on my camera equipment. So these things are always with me so I can do quick things to them, okay? So generally, we're going to go on the stuff inside, the category of items inside that I carry with me every day. This stuff changes, but the category always exists, okay? So there's always a larger, more powerful flashlight than the one that's in my pocket that's inside of this pouch. There's always a multi-tool in this pouch because there's normally not a multi-tool in my pocket. You're kind of getting the drift here. All right, so with that being said, both of these have a different multi-tools. All my multi-tools that I carry in this, I want them to be able to use bits, whether Leatherman bits or normal quarter bits. So we do have one by Next Tool, the W4, and then the Leatherman Surge. Coincidentally, both of these use Leatherman bits. Now, when this one used the Leatherman bits, it doesn't fit in there like the most. So like that's the receiver hole because it does use 1/4 inch bits, but it still can take a Leatherman ratchet driver, which lets me know it can handle a Leatherman bit. So I think that that's pretty dope. I like the fact that it's magnetic. It gives you confidence. Even when you're loading a Leatherman bit in there, you can confidently just know that it's going in there And just to show you, if you were to put a Leatherman bit in there directly, it still can receive it. So, and it's in there pretty good. You can still use that. It still works. So I like that. So I like this this next tool. Just recently used it, kind of being the dad of the day, putting up some Halloween equipment and doing some quick adjustments to some stuff there, trying to get the skeleton to stand upright and whatever. Just keeping this pouch nearby is a lot. It's easy, especially if you're wearing joggers or some basketball shorts and you don't want to have to keep running back and forth to grab the tool that you need. It makes sense. And we all know about the Leatherman Surge. Now, I did pick up the Leatherman Wave Alpha. I bought that with my own money. It should be here in the next couple of days. And we'll be making some changes out and testing that out so we can really know if that's worth it. Now, I got it on a veteran discount, so I only spent $150 on that, but more to come on that when we talk about that. More powerful flashlight in my pouch than what is in my pocket. For instance, today in my pocket is the Olight Arc Pro, which was going to be releasing hopefully soon. It's delayed on their website. They sent it out to me. They said, hey, you don't have to do a review video if you don't want to. If you do a review video, don't do it yet because it's not ready to be released. Less than 2,000 lumens being pumped out on this. It's great. So in these pouches, I keep something a little bit more powerful. Right now, Nicor has my balls in a vice lock. And I like what they're pumping out. So one thing is their Lumen Shield technology is what I really like from Nicor. The EX7 is the Lumen Shield technology, more of a floodlight, which I really enjoy for going on dog walks, being able to illuminate a tree line. Feels good in the hand. It reminds me a lot of the Olight Seeker 4 Pro when it comes to ergonomics. Very functional. And then the Nicor EDC 37, 8,000 lumen monster that's in the pocket here. Both of these are very functional, but they're both kind of bulky when they get put into a pocket. And so they work best inside of a pouch. I like the way that they rock inside of a pouch. And that's where these things live at. They both charge with USB Type-C. This one, I can throw a 21700 battery in there if it's dead. If this one is dead, I'm kind of SOL because the battery's built in. It is what it is. Behind it, both of these in both areas is battery banks. These are Gen 2 and Gen 3 of the Nicor MB 10,000, 10,000 milliamp hour, the thinnest 10,000 milliamp hour battery banks on the market, at least when they were released. Is that still true nowadays? I don't know. But I like the fact that they're carbon fiber. They're super lightweight. They don't add a lot to my kit. And they have a very good long reserve time. Both of these also are rocking rolling in charge charging cables that go alongside these. These battery banks don't output that much, but I could plug up a regular brick, keep a tablet or a computer that's more powerful alive with these small little cables. Before we move on to the other side of this kit, I got to talk about today's video sponsor, which is Veer, and this is their C5 Tactical Solar Field Watch. The thing about this thing is I talk about this baby a lot because the thing is fantastic, okay? First off, it's a solar powered quartz movement. It looks really, really good on the wrist. 6 hours of sunlight, or even some like studio lights I'm using here, fluorescent lights in your crappy workplace or whatever, will get you 6 months of reserve time on this watch. 2-year waterproof guarantee. This quartz movement is very reliable, easy to read watch face on this bad boy. USA assembled. And the fact is that I think this looks really, really good for a 40 millimeter field watch. Looks really good on my 7.5-inch wrist. This is reasonably priced when you check spec for spec versus some of their competitors. I'm talking about sapphire crystal glass, the type of movement that's inside, the solar recharging of that movement and battery that's in there. It's a very, very good deal. 20 millimeter watch straps means you can use Veer straps or the additional strap that comes when you make this purchase, or you can get a third party one and it's still going to be just fine. The lume on this bad boy, really good in the dark or in situations where there is not a ton of light, and it's going to be very forgiving. So shout out to Veer for sponsoring today's video. Check the links down below for the best pricing, and I guarantee this will be a watch that will get you away from your smartwatch and you will be a big fan of it. Moving towards the middle of both of these, nail clippers. My nails grow fast. I don't know if my hair and my nails grow crazy fast. Why? I don't know. But because of that, I'm always keeping my nails clipped. So I do have the Victorinox nail clippers. These things are small, they're compact, they kind of get out of your way. They're very functional. I like the way they work. And at the end of the day, they are still a 7-in-1 tool with a knife and all that. I never use anything on this except for the nail clippers. It has tweezers. I've used the toothpick before. That's about it. I know it has more functionality on these bad boys, but they just don't get used. I do have from Wingback their writing instruments. Both of these are just very refined mechanical pens. Both of these are kind of a rolling action instead of a bolt action. This one, they've added a pocket clip on the Journeyman. The older pen doesn't have it. They muted the logo a little bit. They made it a little bit longer. They're both still great writing instruments. I would say that if you get the OG, make sure you upgrade the ink to like a G2 or a Schmidt or something like that. But it is harder to find the refills for this one, where the new Journeyman can basically buy any refill on the market, whether it's from Parker or G2 or whatever. So on the other side here, matches, because I do smoke sticks, smoking one right now. Another thing that's kept in both is a Molly Zippo with an actual Zippo inside, because yes, I smoke sticks. I'm always having to relight them when I'm running my mouth a lot. But also it's just good to have a fire source with you. Now these are butane inserts in all my Zippos because I do smoke sticks, but whatever is going to work for you. You can keep Zippo fuel. That stuff evaporates faster than butane. Butane still evaporates, but that's something that you're going to have to think about. Next to that is bit kits. One of them is an official Leatherman bit kit, which is in 2 pieces. And then another one is from a Galvanox bit kit, which functions just fine. It costs less money, whichever one floats your boat. If you can get the Leathermans on sale, get the Leatherman, because I do like the convenience of having it in 2 pieces, be able to split it up using the multiple multi-tools. So the only big difference, both of them do have ratchet driver from Leatherman, which I forgot to mention on the other side. And this driver allows for you to use it in a more of a ratchet feature, as if you're using like a long handled, you know, socket and ratchet set. So back behind both is a ferro rod striker. Another ability to be able to start a fire is a good thing, just to be able to keep these on deck. Even if your butane is out or whatever, and you're trying to use these at the 4th of July, we use these when we go camping. You never know when someone does not have a fire starter or fire source, how it can just come in very, very handy to have that with you. Cigar cutters, one a V-cut, well, a guillotine style cutter, whichever one I want to be able to use. And then behind that is the case for both of these pens. I showed you the pens earlier. They both do come with their own canvas cases and a field journal to take notes. My kit is pretty comprehensive. My kit is pretty well put together, and I know what I do and don't need from it. In years past, I had a lot of extra stuff like permanent markers, and I've noticed that stuff rarely got used. Even like my Tide pen doesn't get used but maybe once a month. That's still around. It's just in my truck at all times. This is a kit where if I don't touch the item in this kit at least once a month, it gets removed from the kit. And what it's done is made my kit get smaller and smaller and more practical, to the point where if I forget the kit, it gives me anxiety, because I know that the stuff in there will come in handy more often than not. Comment down below, what are you keeping your EDC kits? More to come when it comes to my survival kit, which has a healthy amount of stuff inside, which may be useful for you as well. So get subscribed to the channel just in case you want to check that out as well.